Welcome back. We are ready for our next run, Glare, run by j4sp3rr. And take it away.
Thank you very much. So yeah, this is Glare. Let's see. I don't know if Tech is ready. Okay, I'll tell you because the timing is kind of weird on this game. It pretty much starts when I land. So I'll just try and give you a countdown. There's an intro sequence. We'll just skip that. So I'm playing Shiner. It's a character that's trying to protect the world and return the light. He's being affected by Torcaster. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. That's we time on control there. So first off, we do some pretty much blind jumps based on how the game loads in. And from here, we have one ability. It's called Glare. So I shoot light out of my eyes, and this affects a couple things. It can interact with certain plants to grow them. It can also get rid of some fog that'll show up
You can
pretty
help
soon.
them photosynthesize. That's cool.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah,
hi
exactly.
by the way, I'm the Lightning Strikes. I'm co-commentating on this run with j4sp3rr. Yeah, this is an interesting game because essentially you're using your eyes for everything. It's like a torch. It's a magnet. You can push things. You can kill enemies. You're I think like death staring them in some way.
You can reflect bullets back into them.
Wow.
If they shoot projectiles at you, you can reflect them. You can push the enemies away, with which you can push them into spikes. There's a bunch of different abilities, and then later on in the game, you get your arm turns into a shooter, which is pretty much like Mega Man. And somewhere 30 minutes into the game finally becomes a platformer and gives you a double jump. So
Yeah, so this is like a 2.5D platformer, just like Ori and the Blind Forest, right?
yeah, it's pretty much like that. Yeah, it's a pretty early one. It was actually made in part by Uranium Anchor, who's, I mean, pretty well known for doing GDQ stuff. He's a speedrunner as well, so that was cool. Unfortunately, the company has since ceased to exist, but you can definitely tell that this game was designed with speedrunning in mind and allows for some stuff here and there to help accommodate speedrunners. If you sequence skip, for example, that we'll do later in the game, it'll just deal with it for you. Every level has flags to give you the upgrades you're supposed to have for the level, which also happens with individual levels, of course.
Yeah, it has some mechanics. Like for example, like if you prematurely end a level, that doesn't mean that you're going to miss the upgrades that you didn't get in that level. They actually accommodate you for that. So if you are fighting the boss, for example, yeah, you will have a disadvantage, but you won't have a disadvantage in the next boss. So they actually, weirdly enough, are encouraging you to skip parts of this game.
Yep, it's at your own risk of getting a more difficult boss fight, but it's worth it. We'll see that later on in the game, though. So we'll point it out when we get to it.
More difficult bosses and more time saves. I'm in for it.
Yep, for sure.
So there's a bunch of enemies here. Are there like different kinds of enemies?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different kinds of enemies which get introduced with every level. So this one has pretty basic enemies, and then as you go along, you'll get more and more difficult enemies to deal with. Sometimes they get smaller or bigger based on what you need. What's funny though is that the spawning in this game seems pretty much fully deterministic. So based on where I am, when I'm getting to where they need to spawn, they always spawn in the same spot. So long as I don't mess up and do the exact same thing I always do, I pretty much get the same pattern for the enemies. So I can pretty much abuse that by already knowing where they're gonna be.
I'd say that's pretty hard.
It's hard, but for certain sections where you really have some issues dealing with the enemies, it's good to know that if you can find a strat, you can sort of manipulate it. Sometimes it still doesn't work out because you're like a little bit off, you jump a little bit too high or something like that, and it messes up. But generally speaking, it's pretty reliable to do.
Yeah, because this is one of those games where if you hit the space bar, for example, the longer you hit the space bar for, you jump higher. Or
Yep, it does have some jump holding being bigger jumps. Yes.
it's sensitive. It's sort of
Yep.
like not pressure sensitive, but the longer you press.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it does have some longer or shorter jumps based on how long you hold the key for, so that's definitely something you need to account for. It also helps that sometimes when you're sliding up walls, you can sort of just keep going, and it'll give you slightly higher height than normal, so you can kind of abuse that in some places.
Right, and this game is all about light and using the light. So it's interesting to know that when you lose health, you'll be getting less light in the game, so you actually can't see. So we might have to, you know, run things blindfolded here.
You're about to see what lighty means here. So yeah, here we do a little bit of a def abuse because otherwise I'd need to walk all the way back up. Why do that when we have this checkpoint right here? And if you open up doors with those buttons, they stay opened when you hit the checkpoint. So this was a skip found pretty early on where you can just go right back up to the top. It's slightly faster, and then you can just head on through the door right after. From here, I'm gonna abuse the fact that I have a little bit of control while the cutscene's loading in to shoot a couple of objects out of my way, because I'm about to need to head right here and get this out, and that also ends us up in the first boss fight. This is one of the tentacles, I suppose, of Torracaster, who's taken over this world and has attempted to take all the light away, which we fixed the pools, we took the darkness out of them, and now we're trying to get rid of Toric's control for good over this tree world here, which is the first world. So every fight here has 3 phases. It has a certain health pool that you need to hit in every phase, and based on the level, the health pool will increase. So as you get better weapon upgrades, Torracaster kind of skills with you. Which is also what Lighty meant with, if you miss out on a weapon upgrade somewhere, that's gonna really mess with you during the boss fight, because the boss fight's not gonna care. The boss fight's just gonna be calculated for you having weapon 2 or weapon 3, for example. If you only have a lower tier weapon, you're just gonna be stuck in the boss fight for a lot longer than you might want to, and they can get really chaotic. This level obviously doesn't have a lot of spawns, but later levels can get quite chaotic.
That was the easiest boss.
Yep. Yeah, this boss fight is pretty trivial. They'll get harder as we go, and in the second to last level, they'll pretty much throw anything but the kitchen sink at you. So we'll see that in a little bit. So this is the desert level. This will introduce a couple new mechanics. The one coming up in just a couple short seconds will be lanterns. With glare, you can pretty much slingshot yourself to a lantern, and by jumping off early before you get to the lantern, you can actually start flying. So let's see if we can cause that here, like this. You can fly off, and obviously we can abuse that momentum in various different, very fun ways that we'll attempt to over the course of the run. And as soon as these mechanics are introduced, they're then added to every subsequent level. Oh.
Nice save.
Let's see if we can do this. I was a little bit too low, so I had the geometry there, but it's fine. And then with this, I just press S, I drop down off it early, and here I'll abuse weapon 2 while I'm still in the cutscene to already clear a little bit away. Whenever you get these upgrades, you when you walk across them, you already get the upgrade applied before the cutscene plays, so you can use that in various funny ways to save just a little bit extra time. In this case, it doesn't matter much, but in a case later on with light bombs, you actually have a recharge time on it, so using it early gives you your recharge back during the cutscene, which is very nice. Yeah, most of these sections we just ignored the enemies as much as possible. And coming up here is one of those sections where we're going to try and abuse the fact that the game is pretty deterministic by dropping off this platform here, which is going to spawn these behind me. And then as soon as we get over here, Gonna try and force these enemies up and out of my way. And because of knowing where they'll spawn, I can just move them out of my way and just keep going. And as soon as I head down here, I hit into a cutscene and all the enemies despawn.
Those wall jumps really look tough to me.
The wall jumps aren't too bad, except for a couple that we'll see way later and hopefully make. I was practicing a little bit earlier, and they were definitely not very consistent. Right here, we'll do a very cool skip with the lantern. I'm supposed to go all the way over to the left, but the lantern here is just barely in view, and we can hit it with the glare ability to jump over to it right away. Don't get in my way, please. I am 1 hit away from death. You have 3 hits, so that was a bit dangerous.
Bit spooky.
Yeah, but you definitely just push through. Gotta go for speedrun strats here.
Gotta be fast.
Exactly. Yeah, here the game shows you pretty much that by hitting these plants, you can actually deactivate them, which you need here because otherwise you wouldn't get down there. And something that was shown earlier, but that I forgot to point out, is that some enemies drop health packs. They're shown in the glowing orbs. When you see those, you can pick those up by walking over them, or oh, that's a bit unfortunate. I tried to get to this lantern here. We'll do the backup though. There we go, and we can just fling right over.
Well, you can see that it's not. Well, I mean, you can play this with a controller, but it's way easier to use a mouse, of course, because you can quickly react.
Yeah, I haven't ever seen anybody attempt this with a controller. I'd be very impressed, though. Yeah, there's so many quick, like, flicks you need to do sometimes, and enemies you need to deal with all around you that... although it supports controller, I wouldn't say it's very good for using with a controller. Yeah, here we get rid of some sand, which is going to change the level up a little bit, and then we get our upgrade called the slide, which gives us some more movement options, and is all around just nicer to see, because now we get some more movement abilities. It only works on slopes though, so as we walk off the slope, you'll see it activate. So we pretty much have an invisible hoverboard.
Oh, he's got Heelys now.
Yep, pretty much. Heelys with light though, because I mean you gotta continue the theme everywhere.
Hey.
So yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to jump the upslopes because you can lose some momentum, and by trying to carry the downwards momentum, I can sort of speed this up just a little bit. Then down here you'll see a section that we were at before, and now we'll go this way because we need the slide for this. And we'll jump up slightly early to hit these jumps, and we'll get to another toxic pool here.
Time to boss fight.
Not yet. Not yet. We have a little bit of a level to go, but...
Spoilers.
I mean, your enthusiasm is definitely great.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to fight those bosses, especially when you do not have the upgrades that you should have.
Yeah, that's in 2 levels in Ice Cave. We'll in the ice level, we'll definitely see that. We'll see some more fun stuff down there, though, which will be very, very interesting. So here, I'm going to go slightly to the right so I have enough of a slide, because you can barely make this jump. You can actually fail that if you don't go far enough to the right, and I've done so on many occasions. So I definitely didn't want to do that for this run. This is a little bit of an annoying part. Where I'm going to slide up just a little bit and barely make that. And here we're going to see if I can abuse this. So that enemy's still there. I am really praying for him not to get in my way, but he probably will. Yeah, I was afraid of that. That's fine though, because we need to go over here and just slide off.
It was exactly in the wrong place.
Yeah. He always is exactly in the wrong place, but you need to sort of approach it in a specific way where you can kill him before you get to the button, but I couldn't get it. So here, I don't want to slide off to the left, so we just abuse the slide up the wall to just barely make that jump. Here, we just ignore all the enemies and use a lantern boost. You can sometimes make that if you get enough momentum, but... yeah, this is the 3rd pool. There's 3 in every level, so we are about to head to the boss fight now.
Oh, yeah. Let's find some tentacles.
Yes, for sure. So here I just stopped the slide because it's straight down from here. So this is Desert World, which includes explosions.
Oh,
So that's very nice.
first boss introduced to you like enemy spawns. Now there's explosions too.
Yep.
I see.
So there's exploding enemies and there's the explosion spawning pretty much on top of you, just slightly delayed, so you can kind of get out of the way, but...
You have to keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And if you watch it, you can kind of see these collars get removed as the boss is getting fought by these lights. For every level, there's a specific collar that goes last. For the first two, it's easy to spot because you can just stay in one spot. So now this collar was gone, the bottom right one, and that's my cue to know that the boss is about to open up for his next damage phase. And from there, we just try and chill in this corner as much as possible and just watch this specific collar around his leg there to see when he's about to open up again.
And not only do you have to fight off the enemies just because they're of course annoying and trying to get you, but also because of the health packs, right?
Yeah, for the first two bosses, it's not that bad, but from Ice World onward, you definitely want to have a health pack or two just in the area somewhere so you can just pick them up when you need them, because even if you're on the third phase here and you get hit and you die, you go all the way back to right before the boss, so you need to do it all over again and lose like 3 minutes.
Oh, wow. They'd be like, well, you can't handle this boss, let's do it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of painful.
A punishing training, but
Yep. Yeah, you definitely learn fast to have a couple health packs on hand. Yeah, here, again, we abuse the fact that they have lanterns up here to skip part of a little bit of the platforming there. This is another enemy. It's a carrier, I suppose. I don't know if you'll see him come up. No. Okay, so that guy is kind of big, has a lot of HP, but as soon as you kill him, he spawns 3 very little guys, which are a lot faster. Here we also skip some platforming. You're supposed to ride those lasers down, which also are a new mechanic. You enlighten them, and then they become a zip line, I suppose, that you can zip past. But yeah, we don't have time for those. These lanterns, you can also use them to boost yourself up by just continuing to jump on them and slightly gaining height every time. So we can use that to skip some more level here. And this is our first pool. So yeah, like you just showed here, you glare at the left part of the zip line, and it spawns. So here, coming up right here is a very seemingly insignificant skip that'll skip about 3 minutes. You're supposed to drop down here, but you can just barely abuse this geometry on the left there to boost off it, and then go here, and this just skipped 3 minutes of the game.
huh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of corner abusing that you can do where you gain a bunch of momentum going the other way off that wall jump, and with that you can do quite a bunch of crazy things. So from here it's a bit of platforming and nothing very interesting going on. I don't know if we have any donations or something that needs to be read out, but please feel free, Ras.
All right, thank you. We would like to thank Renabo for sponsoring several prizes to BSG. Renabo is a plush maker and game developer who is currently working on Floating Wonderland, a retro-style 2D puzzle platformer that uses gravity to solve puzzles as you progress through several different stages. Follow Floating Wonder on Twitter for updates.
Okay, very cool. I saw the plushies. They're very, very interesting for sure, especially the very wide one.
They look amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Definitely get your donations in for that.
So we just had the desert rule, but what is this rule?
This is a pillar world.
Pillar rule.
Yes. It
Features pillars?
yes. I guess. I don't know. So this is our first puzzle that's getting featured here. We'll show it in a little bit. Basically, you need to grab a puzzle piece that's falling down here, and you need to throw it in the receptacle. I don't want to climb up, though, so I'm going to just try and... oh, come on. There, throw it up there. Because otherwise I need to platform all the way back around, and that takes time. Yep, you can fling it. It keeps the momentum, so it's great. That one is definitely the most difficult fling. From here. They'll get very easy to do. We'll see a fling a little bit later in this level, actually, which is kind of interesting as well. I'll point it out when we get to it. Also, a little bit of the section of the level that I forgot to explain is, as we're coming up here as well, is the air current. When you have an air current going up, you'll be pushed up, or if you're falling, you'll be falling way slower. So in this section, for example, we'll be falling very slowly, and we need to dodge all these spikes here. They're not very hard to dodge, though. But this air current up also helps you on your jump. So here we're gonna use this corner here and just, oh, excuse me? Jump right up here instead of having to jump a couple of those mushrooms to get up. And I just dropped my input. Okay, well, we get to see this again, I suppose.
You just wanted to show off your trick. I get it, I get it.
So here the game's like, you know what? You've suffered long enough. We'll just hand you a double jump to help you on your way, which makes saving those kinds of failed jumps way easier, so I definitely appreciate it. But 30 minutes into the run, I really would have appreciated it slightly earlier, especially with a game that takes roughly 40 minutes to complete, just over 40 minutes.
To anyone out there who is good at hacking games, if you can find a skip for this game so he can get the double jump earlier, I'm sure he'll pay some cash.
I mean, I'd find it hard to believe because this is kind of enclosed everywhere, but who knows, you know?
You can always try.
There's definitely a different skip, though, that was very popular in the community to try and figure out, which there was still no very good... There's still no actual solution to, and that is skipping light bombs in the next level, because we can definitely get to sections we're not supposed to in Ice Cave, but it doesn't really help you, because for the ice world, you'll still need the light bombs to actually be able to complete it. If we can ever figure out a way to skip that, that would be amazing. So here, we're just gonna head down here, get the checkpoint for safety, because I filled that way too many times. And here's the other puzzle piece that we can kind of abuse. So as you might have been able to tell there's a puzzle receptacle right there, which means there's also a puzzle piece, which is right here. The door is way above the puzzle piece, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop down just low enough for the receptacle to load in, even though it's off screen, and just drop it straight in. And because the receptacle is loaded, it'll just grab it and activate the door. It does actually grab it. If you fail to load it in properly, you can just float back down, and then it'll activate right away. So it's pretty nice.
Just a blind throw. That's sick.
Yep. So,
here's boss number 3.
Yep, here's Torricaster again, now with more lasers.
We have more lasers included. Don't we love lasers?
Yeah, this in my opinion, is one of the easier gimmicks to deal with, although it does obviously section you off in a very small area, which on its own, for Pillar World itself, is not that bad, but when you start combining it with other mechanics, it can get very hectic.
I do think it's nice that they left the explosions out.
Oh. Yeah, that is very much helpful, but who knows, maybe we'll see them again at some point.
No spoilers, no spoilers.
No. But we still haven't seen the kitchen sink somewhere. I don't trust you. Can I please get a health pack game at some point in the very near future? Thank you. I was kind of wary of my...
health packs.
Well,
no.
That has barely ever happened before. I won't say never. But for Pillar World, that's definitely a rare one.
That was just really unfortunate with laser spawning there and no health packs coming out at all.
Yeah,
Like,
the laser
bad
itself,
RNG.
the laser itself wasn't that bad, but the fact that I got bumped into it by
Yes.
an enemy just coming up kind of made it really unfortunate, because you get some leeway in terms of not being able to be hit again, but it's only for like a second, so for those occasions it's kind of painful. And I just pulled myself down to 1 HP again.
You like living dangerously.
For sure, especially with a laser coming right after me. Okay, that should land me at 2 health, because the health packs only give you 1, so I'm gonna play it slightly safe because I don't want to lose a bunch of time. Let's see if these drop something. Get into the wall. So yeah, for those exploding ones, you can shove them into a wall or something to make them explode right away. There, I shoved them into an enemy. There's a health pack. Okay. Now we just don't get hit for about 10 seconds, and we grab this. Now I'm full health again.
Nice.
Yeah, the screen gets slightly darker, but it's super hard to tell, especially in these boss fights, because it's kind of hard, kind of dark to begin with. I don't trust you at all. So now we're just gonna dive through. Okay, we made it. So here comes
Nice.
Ice World. And my phone decides to not unlock. I'll need a metronome for this part, so...
Yeah, so in this part, he's going to abuse the pause menu.
Yeah,
and-
there's some very, very interesting physics. Let's call it that. I think they forgot to turn off some physics during the pause menu, which... let me just quickly turn VSync off, because I'll need more FPS for this, because this is FPS based. I hope people don't have too much tearing with this. I'll turn the VSync back on as soon as we're done, because there will be quite a bit of tearing in this part, but it is frame rate specific, because the physics is frame rate based in this game, so we'll just have to make do for now. Yeah, these small little buddies that really want to hug you coming up are called bash beasts. You'll find out why in just a second. I'll let them do it. That's why they're bash beasts. So we're gonna just stand here. Oh, I fell off. Okay, let me just get in the right position. Hello? Okay, come on. Come on now. And there's physics. So what I did is I paused while I was slightly clipped into him. And for some reason, when you pause and unpause, the collision detection suddenly decides, oh, hey, you've been in this thing for a while, so let's push you out. But for the amount of frames that you've been in there, it suddenly adds all of those movements up into one frame. So instead of just keeping you on top of the beast every frame, it suddenly pushes you out with... a couple thousand frames at once, which ends up with this. The levels are circular, so they go inside and out. So with this, we can actually jump over a piece that normally you wouldn't ever be able to reach and get to a later section that we're not supposed to be yet.
So you save about like 6 or 7 minutes, right?
Yeah, this is a 6-minute skip.
Right.
So here we abuse the lanterns again to just barely get over this pillar as well. I mean, Ice World should have been called Pillar World with these pillars up here, but...
Right.
So
I see pillar rolled.
Yes. So then we go down here. We trigger this checkpoint, and we don't like sliding down walls, so it's because it's slow. So we just only do it when needed. And we get down here, and then for this, you're supposed to slide back and forth and catch the puzzle piece, but nobody got time for that. So we'll just slide halfway across and just jump back.
Right.
Catch the puzzle piece right in midair.
Puzzles are for very slow people in this game.
Yep. So then let's see if we can do swag strat right here. Let's see. Yep. Barely. What you can do is with that slide there, if you jump just right, you can actually continue to slide all the way into this cutscene trigger, which just looks cool. It saves basically nothing, but I mean, swag points are most important points. So right here is the bane of every Glare runner's existence, the light bombs. I'm gonna throw one right there, and you'll see in the cutscene something explode there, and a couple of rocks flying. So yeah, these light bombs are, I mean, they're light bombs, but they also interact with the gray walls. So with this, we can finally blow up some gray walls, which in this level are in your way everywhere.
Ah.
So
We can't glare at them anymore.
No, exactly. And this is pretty much why we can't skip further in Ice World, because the section I was in that I pointed out, like, oh yeah, we need to, like, we got here, but we need to skip further. That's this section. After this, you'll head to a couple sections where you'll need light bombs to complete it. So yeah, without those light bombs, there's no way at all to interact with the walls, and that means there's no way to progress this level to the end, unfortunately. The fortunate thing though is I skipped my weapon upgrade 3, which means I'll be way less I'll be doing way less damage than is actually intended for this boss fight. The light bombs though have their damage set, so I'll actually be able to abuse light bombs during the fight to at least damage the enemies a little bit and push them away from me. If you shoot at a light bomb, it'll explode immediately. If it touches an enemy, it does too. For this little section, for the birds that are going to spawn here, there's a first cycle that you can do, because the cycle starts up right as we head out here. So I'm going to try and get the first bird cycle here, which involves a lot of enemy management and jumping straight for these birds, this bird, and then this one. So yeah, as you can see there, the light bomb is great. You can also manage the light bomb by picking it up with glare. So here I can actually hover it and control it in midair, which is very nice. I'll do it here as a demonstration. I'll pick it up and just throw it back up.
I'm just so glad you're using a mouse.
Yep.
I cannot imagine that you just did that with just a controller.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a lot harder than...
It should have its own category, controller percent.
Maybe someday. That'd actually be kind of funny to try and complete this on a controller.
Challenge. Your challenge.
Maybe a donation challenge someday. Oh, I'm just gonna take it slow here because I don't want to overshoot these slides here. That would be very painful.
Yeah, because these spikes instantly kill you, right?
Yep. Hitting spikes will instantly kill you. So yeah, as you can see here, there's a lantern, so take a quick guess what we'll do with this one. Yeet, and just throw yourself right across here. And skip another little puzzle with having to throw yourself. I don't know what to call them. They kind of seem like the stabilizers, like the double circle things. Those are actually launchers. You hop in them, and then whatever direction you glare into, you shoot out. I'll point the next one out as we get to it. So here we throw light bombs out early, so we can just throw it into the wall as soon as possible. So yeah, these birds are very, very helpful.
Yes, bad abuse, I would say. But in a way, they're helping you.
They're happy to help. We only woke them up from their otherwise
from
eternal
their slumber. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
They had to wake up sometime.
Yep. It's winter time, so maybe not today, but...
No bats were harmed in this game.
Let's see if we can jump out here early. There we go. So now we head to a section that we were supposed to be in originally, and we're gonna go straight past the section that they wanted us to go. They want you to go up here because you didn't have light bombs yet, but nope, we do have light bombs, so let's just go straight down. And go for another boss fight. This is a very fun section of enemies that are gonna try and kill me very hard. And we yeet straight into the boss fight. So this, in my opinion, is definitely the hardest boss fight. Its mechanic are these balls that take a lot of health to kill, and guess what we don't have? A lot of damage right now. So yeah, you'll definitely see during this fight specifically that every phase is going to take a lot longer than in any other fight. which I'm gonna abuse light bombs a lot to get these enemies off me, because otherwise this will become very unmanageable very fast.
So the phases are damage bound.
Yeah, the phases are damage bound, and they basically they're calculated based on what weapon you're supposed to have. So this is kind of a punishment for skipping the section.
Hey, that's what you get for skipping.
Yep. Funnily enough, the Bashby skip was actually found by one of the developers. What they did is they hopped onto one of those Bashbys, and they paused the game to take a quick smoke break. So instead of saving for a split second there, they saved for they stayed paused for 15 minutes.
So they were shot into.
Yep, they were stuck watching for an hour what would happen.
They got shot into space for forever.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they went flying for about an hour.
I'm disappointed that the lasers are gone.
I mean, you'll see them soon enough. Soon enough. I'm not that sad about the lasers. There we go.
I can't imagine.
Okay, so now Lava World is coming up, which is our second to last level. After that, it's just actually dealing with Torcaster. If you look in the background here, you'll actually see him. So there's these rings here that all these light beams head into. Torek is actually in those rings there. We'll head to him very soon.
He's hiding.
Yep.
Sneaking.
Yeah.
So from the icy world, we go to the lava world.
Yep. And as you can maybe imagine, lava hurts too.
Really?
Yeah, don't touch the lava, kids. It's bad for you.
Don't play with lava. Got it.
So yeah, that was one of the launchers, by the way. Here's another one. We'll just launch straight up into this wall.
This game sure loves shooting enemies straight at your face.
Yep. Yeah, just spawn them straight ahead of you. Don't worry about it.
Almost like they're trying to slow you down.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to grab that puzzle piece, so we'll just try that again. I got kind of stuck on the button, so... Now we slide here, and we yeet the puzzle piece to the right as we go left. Save some time there. This is a section that I don't trust whatsoever, even in an actual speedrun, so we're just gonna take this slow here. Yes, yes. You're very scary. And now coming up is by far the hardest skip in the game. Let's actually hope we get it. This can definitely get me stuck. But this skip coming up is about to save about 70 minutes of the game.
Oh, it's worth it.
Yes, even getting stuck there for a while is definitely worth it. Okay, that's a nope. And we got it.
Yes!
Second try. Okay. There we go.
Oh man, my heart.
Yeah, I had about a 20% success rate in the practice room right now, so getting it second try is definitely
It's a
definitely
great achievement.
very good.
You can see how tight it is. The wall jumps really look tough. I mean, when I played like Super Metroid, I was already annoyed at those wall jumps, but these...
Yeah, for that jump specifically, you basically need two corner boosts back to back. And for the first one, you basically need to walk off the corner and just barely be able to... Oh, hello. Okay. I'm gonna take this safety checkpoint up here. So yeah, you just barely need to walk off the cliff, immediately jump, because if you jump later, you still get a corner boost, but you'll actually lose enough height to not make that jump anymore. Because if for the last jump on the right, if you're just slightly lower than I was, it won't give you the wall jump back.
Yeah, it's very momentum based.
Yep. And we throw another puzzle piece and move right along. So because I skipped 70 minutes of the level, there's quite a bit of stuff that's not triggered. And we'll see that as we get to it. For example, one of the toxic pools will not be cleaned.
So, what are we actually doing here? We're cleaning toxic waste?
We're cleaning the worlds to make them a better place. So this water pool is actually supposed to spawn bubbles here. which you can then use to jump on top of to launch yourself up here.
We don't
But
need that.
yeah, you just use the walls. It's simple. Just wall jump.
Bubbles are overrated. I got it.
Yep.
Unless they're in my bath.
Yeah, those are very nice.
So we're kind of like environmentalists here.
Yeah, but I mean, we're cleaning the pools. We're getting the bubbles out of the pools. We definitely have something with pools, even though we're a light guy. I don't know.
In the lava world, I understand it.
Let's see if I can get this. There. Okay, you can actually get crushed by those. So I was like, you know what? I'ma just try it. Okay, so here we hit the button. Just glare this puzzle piece in here and jump along. Door opens up slightly on time, and here is the boss fight that just decides, you know what? We've had enough of you. Here is all the gimmicks.
Why not just have all the monsters, all the lasers, all the explosions?
I mean, I'm not seeing the explosions yet, so I don't know. They missed something. They missed something. I don't know. Oh wait, there they are. There we go.
Spoke too soon.
Missed them already. And I'm at 1 health. This boss is very, very chaotic.
Kind of like a bullet hell.
Yeah, pretty much. Come on, spawn health. There is health there. Now we need to just survive. I almost touched Torek himself, which also gains you a hit, so get out of here. Okay, I'm at 1 health yet again.
Unfortunate.
That didn't look like it hit me, but we'll get to it.
We'll just pretend it didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah, so this is Lava World. I mean, as you can see here, there's quite a bit of mechanics combined, but
it definitely is like, well, you're reaching the end, so we're going to be really hard and difficult on you.
Yep. But Torek has. I have Torek's name out, so let's go get him. Hi. Can you not? Okay, so we're at 2 health right now. It's usually easier to just remember instead of trying to tell by the color of the screen, because it's just, this level is so dark to begin with.
Yeah, and it's pretty tough to distinguish.
Yeah, dark from slightly darker.
Yeah. Almost blind to very blind.
Oh, hello. I have 1 HP again. This is lovely. Come on. Oh, I was laser focused on something else. Okay.
That explosion really caught you out. But the game is throwing a lot at you right now, so...
Okay, let's just calm down and get this. This is usually a first try affair. But of course, marathon.
Marathon luck, everything.
Again, would definitely not say never happen again, but the pressure's definitely getting to me a little bit. I'ma just take it safe. There's a health pack. We're back at 3. Okay, so if we hit the first phase with 3, we can at least chill a little bit. I'ma just take this slower. Okay. That's part 1. We have 2 health left.
Yeah, for me, there's just too many things going on the screen to actually look at.
Yeah, you kind of start flicking back and forth with your eyes very rapidly. This would be a very interesting game for an eye tracker, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Phase 2. Let's
Very
complete
nice.
it. Let's get this done. Okay. Thank you, sir. Of course, you had to do it right at the end. Come on. Health back. There we go. We're back at 3.
Very nice.
Now we just play it safe and we're
Get
out
that
of here.
RNG.
Yeah, so the health packs actually spawn less and less based on what level you're on. So for a lava world, they're definitely very, very scary. I'm gonna...
Because it wasn't hard enough already.
Hi, where's this health pack? It despawned. You're serious right now.
That can happen.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, there we go. Now we get to Torek. And we also get to our last little skip in the game in Second Pillar World. Because these 5 rings here, they're based on the actual levels that you just completed. So we'll go through tree, desert, pillar, ice, and lava in order.
So this second pillar world feature more pillars?
It features one very large one in the way of me skipping the entire thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, this is definitely a different kind of world.
Yeah, this is you fighting straight up with Torcaster, which has the ability to spawn monsters in your way. Yeah, this is actually kind of RNG heavy because whatever comes out of his 2 mouths is random, and based on the level, you actually want him to spawn different things. Especially for the Pillar World one, it'd be very nice if he spawns some bullets because I can just glare those away and be done with them. Yeah, this is Desert World. It's kind of inconsistent like that, where it just drops your slide randomly, and then it's like, oh, well, I guess you don't have a slide anymore.
That terrain just...
Yeah, the terrain stops, and you're supposed to be able to slide over terrain, but only for a specific amount of time, so...
Wow.
It kind of gets awful. Let's see if we can... just barely missed sliding on top of the button. Okay, so this is where we get into Pillar. And we'll see what he spawns. That's bullets, so that's nice. And there we go. We get up here. Because these levels are circular, we can just go straight up here unless an enemy decides otherwise. And fall back down into the end of the level. And that was Pillar World. Way shorter this time.
And that seems easier than the whole game.
Yes. It is kind of annoying to get up there, but as soon as you find the spot that you need, it's fairly trivial. It's a bit more annoying than it looks, though.
Here comes the laser of death again.
Yep. Ice and desert. Oh, I lost some momentum there. We'll be fine, though. We're almost out of here. Let's see if we slide over the button. Yep. Nice.
Well.
Very, very small time save that is completely RNG. Well, it feels like RNG. It's based on when you double jump into that part, if you hit it or not.
Very specific.
We do a very small skip here to jump straight up here. Ray, he doesn't do bullets, which he did, so now I have 1 less health to deal with this whole barrage of enemies. Thank you, Torek, for being very nice. And now we need to... I almost died there, but we're safe. Okay, so from here, I forgot to mention, but Meteor Slide gives you full invulnerability, so...
Oh.
It's casual sailing from here.
I was just holding my breath for nothing then.
And we jump right up here. Time's about to come up. And that's time.
Very nice run.
I'd estimate this is under time, but it probably 48 minutes. I don't, because the iPad reloaded and removed the timer.
You did 47 minutes and 4 seconds.
Wow.
Okay.
You got a good sense of time, Jasper. That's very good.
I mean, I lost 3 boss fights. That's that's gonna be adding a couple minutes.
You've done that before, probably, so you know.
It's about 1 minute to 2 minutes based on what part of the cycle you're in. But yeah, that was Glare. I forgot what's up next. I don't know if the host might be able to.
Well, I just outright want to thank you for having me as a co-commentator.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you for being here. It definitely helped a lot, and definitely stay tuned on BSG to watch the upcoming ranks. Thank you very much. Oh.
Thank you for the run. Up next is Super Mario.